Hey guys, Goat Mom here, and we are back for another advice video. You guys left some great questions in the community tab on the official Goat Mom YouTube channel. And I've got my lovely assistant here, NightCove the Fox, to help answer your questions. And Milo, of course.
Yeah.
Hi Milo. He's really the star of the show. You getting on my lap? Go ahead. All right. Let's jump right in. Hi, Milo. Okay, so somebody didn't want their name necessarily used, so they asked a question and then deleted it immediately, but I had barely enough time to read it that day. They basically asked what to do when you feel lonely, like you have no one in the world and you're just very alone feeling all the time. What to do.
I don't have friends either.
I don't have friends. Yeah, I'm the same. All I can say is spend that time to get to know yourself. I know it seems lonely. I spend a lot of time alone, like in the hospital and at home, because everyone's busy and sometimes you're just alone a lot. Use that time to get in touch with yourself. It won't be that way forever, I promise. You're gonna get older, you're gonna find friends, loved ones. It'll get better. Use that time to just really get to know what you love, what you hate. Keep a journal, keep a diary, try new things, learn a language on YouTube or Rosetta Stone or whatever. There's a lot of things you could try while you have all this time. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point. Is even if you feel lonely, it's a good time to get to know yourself, really. Especially during a panorama where it's harder to make new friends in a safe manner. But there is also, I plug this in every video, but there's your Discord server too, which is a very safe place. It's a safe server with lots of wonderful people. It's very nicely moderated, so we never have any problems with it. So
a lot of good people there.
Yeah.
So come to the official Goat Mom Discord.
Link in the description.
It's always in the description. Yeah, that's right. And you're never alone there. So
And sometimes her and I will pop in and have conversations and say hi and check on everyone. So
quite often I'm in there daily, and NightCove is in there on and off throughout the week. And
I'm not busy.
Yeah, and we jump into the voice chat a lot and talk to people. So it's a lot of fun. So you won't be alone. All right, I've been really sad and angry about my mom doubting my sexual orientation, my friends, and overall just making me feel like crap. I don't know why she's doing this, but I'm still really hung up on it. It would be nice to get some advice on how to confront her about her behavior towards me and the people around me. Happy Pride, by the way, it's June.
Yeah, happy Pride Month. What a fitting question.
Right? And there's a few I think that'll be fitting for June.
I mean, the best way that I think to communicate your feelings to someone is to do it in a very civilized, calm, and neutral manner and setting. So maybe over something pleasant that you guys do together sometimes, like eating dinner together, or just doing something that's calm and communicates peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like a mature person would, just relay to her your feelings and let her know that the things she's saying or doing are hurting you, and that you're valid and that you want to be respected by her. And your feelings are valid, so you shouldn't feel ashamed about sharing them, because they're important. But sometimes parents just need to hear it in a calm way, in a thorough way, and just kind of have that moment where they're like, oh, my child is hurting because I'm mistreating them because of who they like. Maybe I should reevaluate. So sometimes just a calm conversation over dinner or something that's not provocative in any way towards each other is the best way to go about it. Some parents, depending on who your parents are just always going to be dead set in their ways and be like, nope, no gay, gross gay, you're not gay, you're just confused. And
it's a phase.
It's a phase.
I love that one.
Some parents are just inevitably that way, but when it comes to that, just remember to love yourself above all else and tell yourself that you're valid, because that's the most important thing. Because if you truly validate yourself like from the inside and discover your love for yourself and who you are, then you'll find that like there is not a single person on the planet that can change your mind. So that is like your strongest power, is being your own support system, because not only is that good for your mental health, but it'll also help you gain confidence, and it'll help you be able to more easily communicate your feelings to other people. So
yeah, for sure. And as much as we want the love and acceptance of our parents and family and loved ones, don't get hung up on that. You know, you've got to be you. Eventually you'll be on your own, you'll have your own life. So just look towards that and do the best you can, being yourself and loving yourself, like NightCove said. That's all you can do right now. You can't change people's minds all at once if they're hard one way. So you're gonna have to just, you know, sit down and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something that's making me feel bad. Like she said, don't be confrontational about it. Try and keep it chill from the get-go. Don't expect a fight. Expect it to go well, and maybe you'll lead it that direction. You know what I mean?
You know, put out a calm and a good vibe. Like maybe even just kind of casually slip it in during a really good conversation. Like if you guys have a good relationship, which I'm assuming things, because a lot of kids don't have very positive relationships with their parents. Like with me and my mom, we have pleasant conversations all the time, and I'm able to casually insert like, hey, by the way, my day sucked.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what?
Me too.
That's a vibe.
Yeah, that's a strong
So
vibe.
like if you have a good connection with your parents or your parental guardian, and you're able to just kind of insert something into a conversation that's already kind of uplifting, then the whole tone and mood will hopefully kind of just, you know, hover around that positive vibe. Whereas if you guys are already bickering or arguing about something, or if she's like telling you to do your homework or something, and it's already kind of like a vibe, then that probably isn't the best time to throw that in.
Yeah.
You kind of have to vibe out the right time, I feel like, if you want it to be smooth sailing.
Yeah, and if they're a hardcore, you know, or you don't have a relationship that's that great, you know, try something different. Try, like she said, trying to start it calm, but also maybe throw in a compliment that they're not even expecting. Like, you know what, Mom, I know we don't get along all the time, but I just want to take a moment to tell you, like, thank you for the things you have done for me. And maybe I don't say that enough, you know, maybe admit some things that you could do better, and then follow with, I just need to get this off my chest, and I would appreciate it if you could listen with an open mind, and maybe we could have better conversation. And then here's what I'd like to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, lead with something positive about that person. You know, compliments first and then iffy stuff after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay, dealing with my friends and them stressing me out about my channel and saying to pay them for editing when I edit all by myself and do everything, so I had to lie and say I quit YouTube, and I don't want to just keep lying, and they're my only friends outside of YouTube. I've been dancing my heart out and listening to music to try and help out. Well, that's all for now.
Your friends wanted you to pay them for doing nothing? Wait,
What?
I'm confused, because it sounds like they edit their own stuff, right? So
That's
then
what it sounded like.
why would your friends be asking you to pay them for not editing your videos? Well, that's strange. I don't know why your friends would ask that of you when they're not helping your channel in any way. So
I don't know why. And if they did help a little bit, then maybe chart out what that value was that they helped,
and also
pay them
are
off,
you,
and then don't do it again.
yeah, and first of all, are you monetized? Because
Yeah.
that's also important, because if you're not making money off of these videos, then you don't really have an income to use on spending editing hours on other people, you know, like
Right. Right.
like if you're not at the stage where it's a business for you, where you're
Yeah.
actually gaining an income from it, then you can't really give off money to your friends for helping, as unfortunate as that sounds. And also I feel like good friends would just help to help, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if you're all adults and you're like, hey, like, let's do this as a paid gig, like I'll edit a video for you, kind of like with me and my sister Aza. I pay her to edit some of my videos because I just don't have the time, and she's kind of like one of my employees. but we're both adults and it's like a business thing. But if you're just younger and you have friends that like to help out, then I don't think it's that needed that y'all need to be paying each other for it, especially if you're not monetized yet. That's just weird.
And if you need people to help you and you're going to keep doing videos, then write out a contract, have an adult help you if you're not of age. If you are of age, then, you know, write out a contract, Google it, there's plenty online. Have adults involved because minors can't sign contracts, but have it at least written in handwriting, you know, in their own handwriting. I agree to get paid this amount, or I agree that this is a passion project and I'm not going to receive any, you know, monetary gain from this. I'm just going to receive credits in the video or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Work it out before you put people on camera. And have it in writing if you have to, because friends are great and all, but business is business and friendship is friendship, and you shouldn't mix the two. So if you're going to, you have to have it in writing, and it shouldn't be an insult. It protects both parties. And like she said, if it's just chill and fun, that's a different story. But make sure you know who you're dealing with before you begin.
Yeah, and if your friends are stressing you out about the whole thing too, just communicate that to them. Like, one of our main points of giving advice is communication.
Right.
Because as simple as it sounds, good communication with anybody, whether it's a family member, a friend, a partner, a dog, like,
yeah, honestly,
yeah,
communication is...
Good communication is so important to function as a human being in society. Like, just even
It's
in your own
number
personal
one.
relationships, in work relationships, literally in life. Just learning good communication skills and learning how to communicate your boundaries to other people and your feelings to other people, like, that's a really good and healthy thing. So just if your friends are pushing you a little too hard, just let them know. And you know, you don't have to be all fired up about it or anything. Like we say, when you communicate, try to keep it, you know, mature,
light,
calm, you know, level-headed, and just let them know. Be like, hey guys, you're kind of stressing me out. Like, it's my YouTube channel, I'll run it how I want to. Like, please just stop nagging on me about it because it's stressing me out.
Yeah,
like,
stand up for yourself.
Yeah, stand up for yourself. And I wish you the best of luck with your YouTube channel as well.
And if they're really horrible about it, get new friends, because real friends.
Just throw out those friends and buy some new ones. Go to your local Fry's and just
because
grab
sometimes
some new friends.
maybe your friends are toxic, you know.
And it's true. You'll learn as you get older too how to identify toxic behavior, and learning in relationships or friendships what you like and don't like. So
Yeah.
it's also a valuable lesson.
There happens to be a video on my channel here about toxicity. Go check it out. All right, how do I politely tell my brother that he's practically both mentally and physically abusing me and my sister? It hurts me. I just need big help with stopping an abusive brother. My parents are just taking away his stuff. Clearly that's not working. So
negative reinforcement is actually really, really bad for young kids, in my opinion. I'm not a professional, but negative reinforcement, since children so young are very emotional and they're like learning how to control themselves and their emotions, negative reinforcement can actually be worse than like positive reinforcement. So like, and the difference is positive reinforcement would be like if the kid did their homework and you were like, good job, I'm proud of you, here's your favorite snack.
Right.
Like, because then they're like, oh wow, a reward for good behavior, I'll do this more often.
Right.
Or like when they're nice and they don't hit their sister, and then the parent's like, thank you for not hitting your sister, that was very nice, keep up the good work. But like, just a repetitive pattern of like taking things away or constantly just doing the same thing and expecting the behavior to get better, that's not going to work.
With some humans, it just makes it worse. It will make them more angry, probably more abusive. But back to that, like, there should be zero tolerance for any sort of abuse in your household. So if you need to get an adult that you trust involved, I would do that immediately. You need to tell an aunt or a friend's mother or a teacher or a counselor immediately what's happening. Maybe keep a little diary for yourself of the dates and what happens, and share that diary with somebody outside your household. If you've already gone to your parents and asked them to do something more severe about it, and they haven't done that, then it's time to take it up a notch for sure, because you should not be in an unsafe environment.
Yeah, if you're getting hurt and your parents are enabling the behavior, then it might be time to reach out to authorities or another family member who's trusted that lives outside the house to intervene. Just another outside source that can help, because if people in the household aren't helping, especially the parents, and they're just kind of, enabling you to get hurt, then that's not okay.
No. How to keep calm.
How to keep calm
when others get mad at you for things you cannot control. Well, first of all, you have to not care what others think. So if they want to get mad at you and you know you didn't do anything to cause it, you can just say that. That's my opinion, short and sweet. Say, I didn't do that. If you want to be mad at me for something I didn't do, talk to the hand. I'll be over here. I'm going home. I'm closing my tablet, whatever. I'm like, disengage, because you have to be solid in your own opinion and your own worth. So don't take that crap.
Yeah, if I ever find myself in a situation where, as a kid especially, growing up in elementary school, I had people pick on me all the time or get mad at me over stealing a crayon, which I honestly don't even think I ever did. But
but they thought you did.
Yeah, exactly. Little silly things like that. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're just getting yelled at and you're not having a good time, one of my favorite things to do is to literally just walk away. Because it's funny, because then they'll keep trying to talk to you, but you just keep getting further and further away, and then eventually you can't hear them anymore, and then they're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just stop talking.
Yeah, don't give them a reaction.
Yeah, just disengage and walk away, because if they're trying to pick on you or get mad at you for something silly, then they're looking for the reaction. They're looking for a reason to get more angry, because clearly they have unresolved issues of their own.
Right.
So if you give that to them, then you're only going to be fueling the fire with fire. So to keep calm yourself and also kind of disengage from the situation, sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away and let that person cool off, let yourself cool off. And then later, if you want to reconvene and have a calm conversation once the water has simmered back down, by all means, go for it. Yeah. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's just best to walk away so that you can communicate better later and not lose your temper or get too stressed.
Yep, and when you walk away, go do something that calms you, that makes you happy, whether that's listen to your favorite song, go for a walk, go brush your cat, whatever it is. Seriously, whatever calms you down, that gets your mind thinking of something else, that totally eliminates that person from your thought process, do that. Keep yourself calm. You look at, I forget what order it is, but it's 5 things you can see. Think of 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can, whatever. Yeah. So on and so forth. Just distract yourself, know your worth, and again, honestly, get better friends. I keep saying that, but see, that's why we have no friends, because people are annoying. So don't not have friends, but just know your worth and don't put up with people's stuff. You teach people how to treat you. Let that really sink in, everybody. You are going to teach people in your life from here on out how to treat you. So if you put up with stuff, they're always going to know you're going to put up with that stuff. If you teach them immediately, these are my boundaries, they're going to learn that and they'll treat you better. And that goes with everyone in your life. So teach them how to treat you well.
Yeah, she looks
Come on, babe. This is Xena. She looks a lot like Milo. She's my little warrior cat.
Oh, thank you.
They were really good buddies. They are not related, but they love each other.
Another fun fact is it's really rare to find an orange female cat.
Yep.
Just almost about as rare as it is to find a male calico.
Yep.
So she is very special.
Aren't you? And she can do high fives. Phoebe, can I have a high five? Can I have a high five? Phoebe? No, I can't.
Distracted. No. There's a psychedelic blanket on it.
She's like, what? There's a high five. Almost. She lifted her paw. Anyway, She used to come when I'd go, see her face.
She's like, I'm
Do
right
the Xena
here.
call. And that's how she knows to come if she's really far away in the house. I can do that and she'll come. But she's my protector. Anybody, anything makes a sound that shouldn't be there, she will be on it. Like, do I need to kill it? Is Mom okay? Is NightCove okay? Is everybody okay? Do I need to kill anybody?
She's like the executioner of
She
the house.
is.
If
She
someone
The warrior
is out of
princess.
line, she will put them down if
Yeah.
needed.
She's the warrior princess. So look at her go. She's loving my phone. Okay. I need help with my tics. They go off so much at school, which causes my panic attacks because everyone is looking and asking if I'm okay. These are anxiety tics, but they go off even when I'm not anxious.
Okay.
I mean, I've got my own little bit of, like I get weird spasms in my face when I'm like really stressed out, and I can't control them because it's just literally a muscle spasm by my eye or something, you know, or I fidget. But full out tics, do you have advice on that? You might know more about that than I do. She's had some friends, I think, that had
I
tics.
think there's a difference between like just having stress tics that like the general populace can have and Tourette's syndrome.
Sure,
So
that's definitely a difference.
Yeah, Tourette's syndrome I think is more of a hardwired thing.
For sure.
Whereas like with us, like when we get tics or like twitches, it can just be a result of temporary stress or something. It's a defense mechanism of the body. So I'm not sure if you have Tourette's or if it's just like a stress thing.
I said anxiety tics.
Anxiety tics? Okay.
So, again, calming yourself, doing things that prevent.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of about like self-discovery, figuring out things that keep you calm, whether that's like sketching in a notebook or listening to music or watching your favorite YouTuber. Like sometimes if I come home and I'm really stressed, or even if I'm at school and I have like a lunch break or something, I'll just kind of watch a video that's like funny or uplifting or even calming sometimes. And that'll help just kind of like interrupt my stressful like brain train.
Process,
Yeah. Just long enough for me to be like, okay, I'm grounded, I'm fine.
Grounded on the earth, not like, you're grounded, go to the room. Not wrong
like
grounded.
in touch with gravity.
There.
Kind of grounded.
It does say that these are anxiety tics, but they go off even when I'm not anxious.
Okay.
So I don't know if like, you're not anxious, but maybe extra positivity would help. You know what I mean? You're not doing it to relieve anxiousness, but you're doing it to send your brain into an even more positive mood. Could help your tics. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, if it is something that's getting more and more consistent and it's starting to interrupt your quality of daily life, then I would consider talking to your doctor about it.
Sure.
Like consult with your doctor, see if there is anything that needs to be investigated. Because that's always helpful to have the closure and the knowing of like what's going on with your body. Which will also in turn reduce your anxiety probably if you know what's going on and you get like a diagnosis if there's one to be had. But yeah, in the meantime, just try to discover things that make you feel less anxiety. Try cutting things or people out of your life that bring you more stress. And it doesn't have to be like super harsh. Like you don't have to go tell Jimmy who stresses you out that he needs to go screw off because he stresses you out. Like you can
just take breaks from
yeah,
Jimmy.
it's healthy to take breaks from people. I do it all the time. Like if there's a personality that you just can't really be around for a day or a few days, oh there she goes. She heard a noise
in the kitchen. It was just Tempest jumping.
But if you need a break from someone or something, it's healthy to take breaks because it'll help reduce your anxiety and your stress.
And I'd also like to say to anyone out there that has gone to a doctor and they've said, okay, let's try this medication, please stand up for yourself. A lot of people do need medication, but everyone should have a brain scan before you get on any medication and make sure that it's something that you actually need medication for. Unfortunately, it's very common, especially in the United States, to just throw drugs at kids, and your brain does not even finish developing until you're like 25, 26. So adding a very intense chemical in the form of medication to your brain before you reach that age can be iffy. Like, just make sure that you get maybe a second opinion before you go on a medication, or make sure that, you know, they've done a brain scan. Again, not a professional, but from my personal experience and friends that I've had, they've had very good results on medication. Some of them did not. The ones that did was because they had a brain scan and knew that they actually needed it. So, you know, just try to get as much information as you can. You know, that's just really important, because a lot of people get thrown medications for stuff. And while they're wonderful and they do a really good job sometimes, they're not always needed. Children are highly over-medicated, in my opinion. So just make sure that you are getting plenty of sleep, plenty of water, your diet is good. What you put into your stomach directly affects the rest of your body and your organs, including your brain and your emotions. So what you put in you is how you will feel. If you eat junk, you're going to feel like junk the next day. Honestly, like, I promise you. So cover all those things before you start popping pills, you know. And if you've been prescribed something, don't stop it. Definitely take your medication. If you're already on medication, take your medication. Only stop under the supervision of a doctor. Do that. You know, have a conversation with someone who loves you. Say, hey, this is working for me. Or, hey, this isn't working for me. Hey, can we go talk about this? Let's change something. Don't ever just stop taking something, and don't ever just start taking something without a professional telling you it's okay to do so.
Called.
Hi, Bean Bean.
These pants were clean.
Her name is Xena, but she's such a little bean. Her little head was such a tiny bean when she was a baby. I just started calling her Bean for her little bean. So now we call her Xena Bean, or Bean Bean for short. Okay, how do I deal with an emotionally abusive older sister and parents just won't listen? I'm really stressed in my home, and I've been tempted to run away several times, but I never did because I don't know where I'd go. I think that's very similar to the brother one that we just answered, isn't it? Same thing. You need to find an adult that you love and trust that will help you, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, a principal, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin that's older, someone that can actually help you with the situation. If you need to speak up and tell. You know, call the authorities if it's that bad. If you've talked to your parents and they haven't listened, say, look, this is my last conversation with you guys. We need to fix this immediately. I don't feel safe. It's not okay. I cannot do this any longer. Please, can we talk about a plan? And have them talk to you right then about a plan. If they cannot do that for you, it's time to get others involved.
Yeah, it's time to move to resources outside of the house, such as a school counselor, or like the police or the authorities, or another relative that you trust.
CPS.
Yeah.
I know that foster care is a hot mess on its own, but there are worse things in the house sometimes than outside the house. So if it's that bad where you are, then it's time to get other people involved. Blocking others' emotions for empaths like me, because I've been struggling with telling what's my emotions and what's not. 2 points I would say to this is, yes, okay, empath is one thing. Also, hormones are another thing. So between the ages of like 8 or 9 and 25, your hormones are going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff, trying to balance out, and you're going to be getting serotonin boosts and you know, all kinds of stuff, and you're going to be dopamine, and so some of that is just your body going nuts. You never know what you feel, how you feel, what's going on. If you have family stuff, it's affecting you more than usual. That could be one thing. But as far as empaths, which a lot of people are, you're picking up on vibes of other people. You just have to learn to shut it off. But I think everyone as a human being has that ability to vibe people. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is body language. So, you know, if your dad comes home from work, you can tell by his body language and the sounds he makes if he's in a good mood or not. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that you're taking on that yourself, like an empath, but it means that you're very good at reading body language. So I think at least every human has that ability. But there are empaths, and what that means is you actually have the ability to feel others' emotions on a deeper level. A lot of people do have that. It's more of an energy thing. You have to learn to kind of just shut off, distract your brain. When you're in a room with a lot of people, kind of focus on something of your own, you know, close your doors. If you're just constantly sucking things up like a sponge, but you're not tossing it back away, then you're gonna get full and overloaded and bogged down. I don't want to say learn to care less, because that sounds bad, but learn to care less. Unless it affects you, or if it's something that you need to be thinking of right then. You know what I mean? Like, you can't save the whole world. You can't worry about everyone. If it's not an emotion that is serving you right then, try to disregard it. Because otherwise, you know, what are you going to do with 20 emotions? You know, especially if there are other people's feelings that you think you're picking up. You know, what can you honestly do about that? Nothing. So try to learn to just let it go. You know, think of it like pieces of paper coming at you. When you grab one, if it's not something you need right there, crumple it up, toss it away. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, just means you can't deal with 20 emotions right now, and that's okay. Or put your little bubble around you mentally and let the pieces of paper bounce off you. No owls delivering letters to you today, Harry. You're not a wizard. The shop is closed. Learn to close your sign.
Don't look at me, she's crazy. She just gave me this disappointed look.
Baby, are you disappointed? Come here. Come here. Hi, Bean.
Look at how hairy my pants are.
Can I have a high five? Oh, you almost did it. Oh, lazy. Oh,
Don't bite her butt.
don't
That
bite
was
her
rude.
butt. Wow.
Right on the cheek.
Advice on why you shouldn't pull an all-nighter, because I just pulled an all-nighter. Well, because your brain stops working. You need sleep to reboot. It's like defragmenting your hard drive on your computer. You have to sleep.
You have to get REM sleep every night, or your sleep cycle is gonna really derail. And more than, is it 24 hours or 48 hours? 48 hours of no sleep, I think, is the equivalent to being like the legal amount of...
Insane?
No.
Drunk?
I'm drunk.
Yeah, drunk.
Like
72 is insane, sorry. No. Yeah,
it has
really
the same
fucks you
delirious
up.
effect on you if you are sleep deprived for long enough as it does being drunk. So
Yeah, it's not good for your brain.
no.
Your brain is going to start working harder than it needs to, which means it's going to start shutting down other parts of the brain to put energy to the areas that it needs to function, and it needs sleep to refresh and restore and rejuvenate. So it's literally like running your car without water, for example. You know, if you drive your car without water in it, it's going to overheat. Your brain will do that without sleep. Do not do it. Get plenty of sleep. Not too much, but when your brain is still growing, you need, you know, at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep steadily every night, and water. Because our bodies are what?
The amount of water in the human body depends on a person's age and weight, among other factors. However, water makes up between 60 to 70% of the average adult human's body.
There you go, 60 to 70%. So drink your water, you dehydrated noodle. How do I ask my parents for something that they might not accept? Like, I really want to cut my hair, but the only hairstyle I want is boy-like, and I'm scared that they won't let me. Edit, I already have asked 2 other people's advice, but I'm still scared. A little less scared to ask, but I still am.
I mean, worst case scenario, you ask them and they say no, but I don't think there's any real harm in at least asking.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to have your opinion and your
Yeah.
feelings. Your feelings are valid, your tastes are valid. Just because they like your hair one way, well, that's not their head, it's your head. So if you say that nicely and calmly and have a calm conversation, you know, maybe if they're really old-fashioned and are just like, no, tell me you want a pixie. Because that's a nice short haircut, you know?
And that's been around forever.
Yeah, for decades.
I
It's a very
guarantee
popular
you
haircut.
it's been around since your parents' decades.
And
Like,
that
it
will get
is,
it short. So.
Like, very popular in the 20s, especially, I believe.
Yeah.
When they had, like, the little curls.
Mhm.
Like, it was all very short. So it's not, like, boyish at all.
Right.
Which...
So tell me you want something retro and pixie-ish. If they're, you know, like weird gender, like you can't have a haircut that looks like a boy. If your parents love you and aren't super crazy old-fashioned like that, then just explain to them, hey, this is what makes me feel comfortable. This is what makes me feel like I am who I am. I would like this haircut, you know, show them some pictures. Again, all I can say is if you tackle it with calm maturity and explain, hey, I just want to talk to you about something. You know, I've been feeling a little off lately and I thought that, you know, getting a haircut would really make me feel good and positive about myself. What do you think about that? And then, you know, let them answer and then say, you know, thank you guys for always being there for me and stuff. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the haircut I'm thinking of. Or just go get the haircut, and unless they're standing right over you, you know, tell your hairdresser what you want. And when you come out, say, look, this is my haircut. I'm super excited, you know, I don't know.
Depends on the parents. Because
Yeah,
I know
depends
some
on the
kids'
age.
parents are like right
Right
there
there,
with the
no.
hairdresser, like, nope,
Yeah.
Sally can't have that haircut.
Yeah.
It's too short.
Well,
But-
glue it back on quick, no?
Yeah. Like, depending on how cool your hairdresser is and how much they're willing to listen to you instead of the parent, like, that whole situation can
Can be
vary.
iffy.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess the best way of going about it is, yeah, like, just calmly and politely asking your parents, explaining to them why you want the haircut. Because a lot of the reason I think that parents sometimes just decline their kids' wants, like big things like haircuts, is because they think they're just going through a phase, or
Right.
they're just having a, like, pull the trigger moment, like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But if you just explain to them why, like, and tell them that it would make you feel more confident and more happy, then they might be a little more open to it, because then there's a reason behind it besides just, wee, haircut, you know, because
Tell them you've thought about it.
sometimes they just don't give their kids the benefit of the doubt that they've thought it through, they've thought of the consequences of cutting it that short, why they want to do it. So sometimes if you just explain that to them, then they'll understand.
And it's hair, it will grow
Yeah,
back.
it's gonna grow
So
back.
even if they hate it or grandma hates it, oh well, first of all, it's your head. And second of all, it'll grow back. So be confident in yourself, do you, and explain to them nicely and calmly why. Again, communication. It's all about communication and your approach. It's like first impressions. If you start any conversation about anything with anyone on a sour note or defensively, it's going to end badly. Go into it with confidence and calmness and maturity.
Put out the vibe you want to receive.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a science to that, actually. If there's anything the Fazbear Frights books have taught me, it's
Oh,
that
God.
you put out the energy you want to get back. If you put out agony, the things around you are going to absorb it and put it right back out at you. But if
That's
you
true.
sing to your plants, they're going to be happy. And you're going to feel happy. There's
Sing to your
literally a
people.
science.
It's true though. There's a vibration, there's a
Yeah.
science to it. What you put out, you get back. Be calm, be confident.
Sing to your plants.
And sing to your plants and your cats.
We have a plant in the corner right there that's
Yeah.
a creeping Charlie, isn't it?
No, it's an apothos.
Oh,
I
dang
wanted
it.
a creeping Charlie and name it Charlie.
We did have an apothos that was
we
named Charlie.
But she died.
Yeah, she died.
So that's
So
Henry.
we got a new one, and his name is Henry. And he lives in the corner
and
alone.
he's thriving though. Look at
He's
him.
really
so
happy. He is not depressed at all.
No, it's about time, right? Poor Henry.
He's doing great.
He needed
We're
a
very
happy-
proud of
We're
him.
very proud of Henry. You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great, honey. Keep it up, man.